Unbelievable. Shocking. Wicked beyond imagination. Picture this: a baby, tiny and fragile, born into a world where his first protector should have been his father, a father meant to shield him from harm, to fight off danger, to give him love. But instead of safety, Emmanuel met betrayal in its darkest form. Jake Haro, his own father, chose not life, not mercy, not protection, but death. And as if killing his son was not enough, what came next reveals the depth of his cruelty. Instead of laying Emmanuel to rest with dignity, instead of even pretending to grieve, Jake treated his baby like refuse, like discarded trash. He threw his own flesh and blood into a garbage can. Now an eyewitness has spoken with trembling lips, confessing to authorities that they saw Jake dispose of something in that very trash can near the site where he would later take investigators. That account aligns with a second chilling confirmation, what Jake whispered to another inmate in jail. Believing his evil was safe in secrecy, Jake admitted that he killed Emmanuel and discarded him in a bin. Can you see it? A man sitting in a cell, laughing at his lies, thinking no one would ever hear the truth. A man wicked enough to brag in whispers, but cowardly enough to cover himself with excuses when confronted by police. This is not a father. This is a destroyer of innocence. And yet, Jake thought he could get away with it. He thought no one saw him. He thought his words would remain locked in prison walls. He thought his act of evil would vanish when the trash was emptied. But Jake forgot the oldest truth of all. No man can hide under heaven, not from the eyes of God, not from the reach of justice. And now, every secret is being dragged into the light. The web of lies Jake tried to weave is unraveling before our eyes. Inside those prison walls, where he thought his secrets were safe, Jake whispered a confession to a fellow inmate. He admitted what no parent should ever even imagine, that he killed baby Emmanuel and discarded his tiny body in a trash bin. He spoke it not in grief, not in remorse, but as if it were just another story, another twisted excuse, another attempt to bury the truth. But secrets don't stay hidden. That inmate carried the weight of those words and reported them to the authorities. Suddenly, Jake's evil was no longer his private burden, it was evidence. Evidence that pointed directly to the cold, calculated disposal of his child. And then, as if to nail this truth in place, an eyewitness stepped forward. Someone from the outside, someone who had nothing to gain. They told investigators that they saw Jake dumping something into a trash can right near the very area he would later guide the police to. Their testimony perfectly aligned with Jake's jailhouse confession. Two different voices, two separate accounts, both pointing to the same chilling reality. Jake threw away his own son like garbage. This is not coincidence. This is not accident. This is the truth, breaking through Jake's wall of lies. And suddenly, we begin to understand why Jake scrambled, why he later changed his story, why he told police he rolled over Emmanuel by accident and suffocated him. He knew the trash can secret had been exposed. He knew the eyes of justice were closing in. And in his panic, he traded one lie for another. But here's the question we must ask. If it was truly suffocation, if this was just an accident, then why was blood found inside their home? Suffocation does not spill blood. When the walls began to close in, Jake panicked. He knew the truth was leaking out. He knew that what he whispered in prison was no longer a secret. He knew that an eyewitness had seen him. And so Jake did what the wicked always do when truth comes too close. He spun another lie. This time, he told investigators a different story. He claimed he had accidentally rolled over Emmanuel while sleeping. He said the baby suffocated beneath him. To the careless listener, it might sound tragic. even believable. But to those who look deeper, it reeks of desperation. Think about it. If suffocation was the cause, then why was blood discovered inside the Haro home? Suffocation does not leave blood behind. Suffocation does not stain the walls. Only violence, only brutality could explain those marks of suffering. Jake thought he was clever, but his lies cannot erase the evidence. And so, we are left staring at a man who shifts his story not once, not twice, but again and again. First, the trash can, then suffocation. Each story crafted not for truth, but to cover his tracks. Each excuse designed not to confess, but to mislead. This is not the voice of a grieving father. This is the mind of a manipulator. A man wicked enough to kill his child, but cowardly enough to run from the truth. A man who thinks justice can be blinded by lies, even as the evidence screams otherwise. The truth is catching up with Jake Haro, and no lie will save him. But the darkness in this story does not rest on Jake alone. There is another shadow, the silence of Emmanuel's mother. When investigators pressed her to take a polygraph test, a simple step to clear her name and prove her innocence, she refused. She turned away from the one tool that could have lifted suspicion, that could have shown the world she was not part of this unthinkable act. And we are left to ask, why? A mother's heart is supposed to cry for truth. A mother's soul is supposed to demand justice for her child. Yet here we see hesitation. We see silence. We see refusal. Was it fear of exposing her own involvement? Was it the weight of secrets she dared not reveal? Or was it, perhaps, the guilt of standing by while Emmanuel was betrayed by the very man she shared a home with? Think of it. If Emmanuel's father was capable of such wickedness, is it possible she knew more than she let on? Could she have seen the signs? Could she have heard the cries? Could she have looked away in that crucial moment when Emmanuel's life hung in the balance? Her silence, her refusal, speaks louder than any words she might have given. And in this silence, suspicion grows. For when a mother will not fight with every breath to prove her innocence and to demand justice for her child, we are forced to wonder what chains of fear or guilt or complicity are keeping her bound. Emmanuel had no voice, and now his mother's silence leaves him defenseless, even in death. Law enforcement knows the truth is close. They have gathered the puzzle pieces, the inmate's confession, the eyewitness who saw Jake at the trash can, the blood inside the home, and the contradictions in his shifting stories. Each piece points to the same chilling conclusion. Emmanuel's body was discarded, hidden away, treated as refuse by his own father. Yet the authorities move with patience. They have told the public only this, that they have information on where the body is. Why such careful wording? Why such restraint? Because in the eyes of justice, the body is more than evidence, it is Emmanuel's final cry for truth. Until his remains are recovered, until the ground itself gives up what Jake tried to hide, the story cannot be fully closed. And so, investigators comb the disclosed area. They search the bins. They retrace Jake's steps. But the bitter truth is that time may have stolen Emmanuel's body from that can. Trash is emptied. Waste is carried away. If Emmanuel was truly thrown there, his remains may have been lost to the system of disposal, a reality as heartbreaking as it is infuriating. But make no mistake, this does not mean justice will slip away. Jake believed that without a body, his crime could vanish into shadow. He believed that lies could outlive truth. But he forgot one unshakable reality. Nothing is hidden under heaven, and nothing escapes the eyes of law enforcement. Every testimony, every scrap of evidence, every contradiction is building the case. Slowly, relentlessly, the net tightens around Jake Haro. And the world watches, waiting for Emmanuel's truth to finally break
After weeks
open.
of confusion,
And now
denial,
we
and
come to the
desperate
revelation
searching,
that
the truth
cannot
has
be
finally
ignored.
broken through.
An unnamed
Inside a jail
eyewitness
cell,
has
Jake
stepped
Haro,
forward.
the baby's father,
This person told
confessed,
authorities
not
that
to
they
police
saw
directly,
Jake
but to
dumping
an
something
undercover
into a trash
inmate.
can.
And in
A
that
can
chilling
not
confession,
far from
Jake
the very
admitted
site
he
Jake
killed his own
himself
son
took
and dumped
investigators to on
Emmanuel's tiny
Sunday.
body in a
The
trash
connection
can.
is undeniable.
Authorities now confirm
the dots
they have a
are
strong
lining up.
indication of where
Ask
Emmanuel's
yourself,
remains may
do
be.
you really
but tonight,
believe
the
this is
heartbreaking fact
coincidence?
is this:
Do you
his body
truly
has
think
still
it is
not been
chance
recovered?
that an inmate
Think about
heard
that
Jake's
for a moment.
confession
This baby
and
boy,
an
just
eyewitness
7
saw
months
his
old,
actions
suffered
in the
prolonged
very
abuse at
same
the hands
place?
of the very people
Or is
who
this
should
the
have
hand of
protected
truth
him?
tearing
And
through
now
Jake's
his father
lies?
casually reveals
Why
to another
did Jake
prisoner
tell the inmate
that
about
Emmanuel
the trash
was
can?
discarded
Why
like
did the
garbage?
eyewitness see him there?
The district attorney's
Why
office
does the
calls
blood
this
in
a,
the
quote,
house
strong step
contradict
forward in the
suffocation?
case.
And
But to
why,
grieving hearts, it is
above
a punch
all,
in the gut.
has Emmanuel's
Because
body
without
not
Emmanuel's
been
body,
recovered?
justice
These
still
questions
feels out of
pierce
reach.
like knives,
And
the
here's where we must
answers
stop
all lead
and
back
ask,
to one
how
reality.
many more children
Jake
are at
Haro's
risk?
wickedness
Remember,
has
this same
no
household
bottom.
already had
But
a
let us
disturbing
not
history
forget,
of abuse.
even
We've
if the
spoken
trash
about
was
the
emptied,
siblings. We've
even
spoken
if
about the
Emmanuel's
past
body was
accusations.
carried away,
Tonight, we
nothing
cannot
can erase
ignore it
what
any
Jake has
longer.
done.
If
He
Emmanuel
thought his
was
lies
killed,
could save him.
what about the
He
others?
thought silence
Are they
could
safe,
cover
or
him.
are we waiting for
But he
another
forgot
tragedy?
the eternal truth.
Audience,
no
I want
one
you
can
to feel
hide
this
under
pain
heaven,
with me.
and no
A
one
father
escapes
kills
the
his
pursuit
baby.
of justice.
A mother stays
And now
silent.
I turn
And
to
tonight,
you,
6
the listener,
other children
the seeker
remain
of truth.
tied to this
What
same
do you
nightmare.
feel in your heart hearing
Drop your
this?
thoughts in the comments.
Do you not
Do
ache
you
for
believe the
Emmanuel?
system
Do you
failed
not
Emmanuel?
burn with anger
Should
at a
Jake
life
and
thrown away
Naomi
like
ever
garbage?
walk free
Do you
again?
not long
And
to
most
see justice
importantly,
roll
what
down
must
like mighty
happen
waters?
right now to
This is why
protect
we
the
are
rest of
here,
these kids?
not just to tell a
This
story,
is no longer
but
just
to
a
fight
story.
for Emmanuel's
It's a
voice,
fight for
a voice
justice.
silenced
and your
too soon.
voice matters.
And we need
Subscribe,
you with us.
not just to stay updated,
Subscribe now.
but to join
Stand
the fight.
with us.
Because
Stand with
together we
Emmanuel.
are
Let
Emmanuel's
the world
voice.
see that the wicked cannot bury truth, that the voiceless will not be forgotten, and that together we will keep demanding answers until justice is done. Because Emmanuel Haro may have been silenced, but his truth will speak through us.